Hey guys, I'm doing the 2 books from 6 genres tag, and a few people have done this tag. K-Tastic has done this tag, and a few others. I can't remember their names off the top of my head. But basically what you're supposed to do is pick 2 books from a genre each out of 6 genres, and I'll find the original video and post it in the description so you can check that one out. So, first genre is dystopian. Find 2 dystopian books that you enjoyed. I'm gonna, like everybody else did, I'm gonna try to not do very popular books, because I'd like to get some unknown books out there. So the first book I chose, which has a sticker on it, is The Knife of the Never Letting Go by Patrick Ness. And I've talked about this in past videos before, so I'm not gonna go much detail. It's just about a boy in a world where everybody can hear each other's thoughts in this town, and he tries to escape because something wrong happens. So yeah, that one was really good. I really recommend this one, especially if you're a boy reader, and there's kind of a lot of girly books out there now. I really would recommend that one. And the next book I have, which a lot of people do have, but I just loved it so much I had to put in here, was Unwind by Neal Shusterman. This one is about, from the ages of 13 to 18, you can get unwound, where they take all your organs and give them to other people. And it's about these 3 kids who are gonna set to be unwound, but they're trying to escape it. So yeah. Next we have the romance genre, and so I picked 2 books, which again, some of these have stickers on it. So I picked Perfect You by Elizabeth Scott, which is about a girl named Kate Brown who, her old best friend is really popular and ignores her now, and her dad quit his job to sell vitamins at the mall, so they're not doing so good financially wise. And this guy that she really doesn't like keeps bugging her at school, so she's just trying to get through life and stuff. And it's very enjoyable. Elizabeth Scott's writing is very good, and I just really enjoyed this book. Kate is one of my favorite characters from a romance, and this made this unforgettable for me. The next book I have, which a lot of people have on their shelves but not many have read, is The Duff by Cody Keplinger, and this is one of the first young adult romances I read when I got back into reading, and I absolutely loved it. I can still recite what happens, but I'm not going to because that'd be a spoiler. This one is about a girl named Bianca who has 2 other friends, and she is the duff of the group, or so she thinks, the designated ugly fat friend. And this boy named Will, I think it's Wesley. Sorry, I get so mixed up with names. This boy named Wesley basically tells her that she's the duff, that she's the ugly fat one, and so she gets pissed off, throws a drink, and walks off. But things at home aren't good for her, and so she uses Wesley as an escape and starts to have a little forbidden romance with him when she really doesn't want to. But yeah, this one is really good. I could really relate to Bianca in a lot of ways in this book. I really like Cody Keplinger too. The next genre is historical fiction, and I was going to choose the Bible for this one, but I never really finished the Bible, because if you can't tell, it's quite a big book. So, I don't read a lot of historical fiction. I don't find it that interesting, I guess. I don't know. If it was in the young adult world, I would find it interesting, but reading about war and stuff isn't really my kind of thing. But I did manage to find 2, and one of those is Julius Caesar by William Shakespeare, and as you know, this is about the stabbing and murdering of Julius Caesar. So I really enjoyed that one, actually. That got me to like William Shakespeare's work. The next book is Ripper by Stephen Petruccia, which is about an orphan who... It's during the time where Jack the Ripper already happened, and now there's a copycat killer going around, and this orphan who wants to be a detective is trying to find out who it is and who the killer is, and him and this family that basically adopts him, they try to find out who the killer is, and they're detectives and stuff. This was okay. I give it a 3 stars because it was kind of boring, but still, it was alright. I don't have to put it on the list. I needed something. I have my books stacked right there, and I don't want them to fall. The next category is paranormal, and yes, I just showed this one book in my previous video, but I really liked it, and a lot of people, again, have it, but I guess they haven't read it. And that is The Body Finder by Kimberly Durden, and if you didn't watch my previous video, I will tell you a little bit about it. It's about a girl named Violet who can sense the aura of dead animals and dead people, and when a serial killer comes around and starts kidnapping young girls and murdering them and burying them, she can find them with her sense, but she can't help the people because only her family and her friend knows about it. So she's trying to find the killer without ruining her secret. And that one was really good. Kimberly Durden also wrote The Pledge book. It's on my shelf, that's why I'm looking over there. And that is a dystopian novel, which I haven't read yet, but yeah. Next book that I absolutely adore, and I know a few people have this on their shelves, but I read the whole trilogy and I loved it. Got me into young adult paranormal stuff, is Bad Girls Don't Die by Katie Alinder, and I love this book. It's one of my favorite books of all time, I'd have to say. Especially when you read the sequels, and it makes so much more sense what happens after. And this is about a girl named, I think it's Alexis, her sister is Casey. Alexis, who her and her family move into this house, and it's kind of creepy and old. Well, she goes to school and stuff. She didn't really move in there, she's been in there for a while. Well, her sister Casey starts acting really weird, and she starts finding things out about the house and who lived there before there, and she thinks that her sister's haunted, but nobody believes her, and her sister's starting to do weird and scary things. So she has a few friends at school, but her sister's starting to, like, say threatening things about people, and so she's trying to protect the people without, like, harming her sister because she doesn't know what's going on. It's really intense, and I really liked it. I think the third one was the best in the trilogy, but you gotta read this one first. Okay, next I have sci-fi, which, I don't really know exactly what counts as sci-fi, so I had a scavenger for a few books on my shelf. One of the books, which was okay, it has more of a contemporary in it than it does sci-fi, but it does have enough sci-fi to count, I guess, is Revived by Kat Patrick, and this is about a girl who, she takes a pill, and whenever she dies, the pill will revive her. So, one time, she continuously dies, and the pill revives her, so her and her fake family move around from town to town, and it's like, honestly, this book has like not big of a plot really. And then she finally finds a place where she likes, so she's trying not to die, but I guess bad things are happening to her. So pretty cover, but I was really let down by this book. I gave it 3 out of 5 stars, but it was alright. Next book I have is Under the Never Sky by Veronica Rossi, and I'm not sure if I give this a 4 or a 5. I can't remember. I have to check my Goodreads, but I know I really did enjoy this one. At first it was very confusing, but I really enjoyed it. And this one is about a girl named Aria. Yeah, Aria. I almost said Vera. Aria, who lives in the futuristic world in these domes, where the domes are safe, and outside the domes aren't safe. Well, she does something wrong, or someone frames her for doing something wrong, and she gets kicked out of the dome, and she gets kicked into the outside area, which is now, I guess you could say, very dangerous. Well, she meets a boy there named, what's his name? Perry. Name's so weird. Named Perry, and they don't really get along because Perry doesn't like people, but he helps her survive and try to find her way back into her world, and prove that she didn't do anything wrong. So yeah, this one is very futuristic. I really like it though. What's it called? And the sequel to that is out, and I believe the third one comes out either this year or next year. It's probably next year. Don't quote me on that, please. Okay, so the last genre I have is fantasy. And fantasy novels, I didn't know if it counted in another world or in this world with fantasy characters. I guess some people say it's one or the other. Some people say it's both. So I just picked one that were kind of the mixture. The first book I have is Graceling by Kristen Cashore. And not many people like this. Some people like it, but some people don't. I personally like the first one, and then the second one was alright, and then Bitter Blue was, give it a 4 stars. I enjoyed it, but it wasn't as good as Graceling. Graceling was the best. And in this world, if you're a Graceling, it means you have 2 different colored eyes, and you have a power. And this power can be anything magnificent, like super strength, or being able to fly, or it can be something very stupid, like being able to juggle very well, or being able to pick up forks well. It can be anything. It's really weird. This is kind of set back in medieval times. Not really, I wouldn't say medieval. Well, yeah, medieval. I'm sorry, I was thinking of something else. Yeah, medieval times about that. And so this girl named Casta is a guard for her uncle, who is the king. And he makes her out to be a monster because she is graced with the skill of fighting. She can fight very, very well. And, hold on. She meets this boy named Poe, who she starts to have feelings for Poe and stuff, and he makes her feel like she's not a monster just because she's doing the king's work. But she can't not do the king's work because he's her uncle, and if he doesn't want her, he could throw her in jail, basically. But this one was very adventure-packed, and I really love the characters in this one. I just wish the other sequels weren't as... I wish they were as good as this one. One of my next books, which I absolutely love, I follow this author on Twitter, and I love her books. And she has a spin-off series. She has a spin-off series and another series that isn't related to this that everybody loves. And this has a sticker. It's The Iron King by Julie Kagawa. And this is about a girl named Megan, who one day her brother gets stolen and replaced with a doppelganger, which is a unhuman child who looks like a human and is left in the place of a human baby when the paranormal creatures, usually fairies, take the baby and they leave behind a doppelganger which can't survive in the human world, so they die. And so you think your baby just got sick and died when they really have your child. So they do that with her little brother, and his name is... I think his name is Evan or something, but the spin-off series, yeah. Anyways, so she and her friend go into this magical world, which is kind of like Alice in Wonderland in a sort of way, and they go and try to get her brother back. And while they're there, they find out a lot of things that she didn't know. And I just absolutely love this series. It is a great fantasy series. There's 4 books in the series. There's a book about all the little novellas, and then there is a spin-off series called The Lost Prince, which you should read this series first before you read the spin-off because it will make no sense to you at all. So, yeah, I really, really love this series. So, those are my 2 books of each genre. Tell me what you thought about it, if you liked my choices or not, and what are your choices in the comments. Thank you.